No, taqsim is not arbitrary. Taqsim is 99% predetermined structure. I'm going to prove it to you by analyzing a legendary epic taqsim by Kulthum's very much loved qanun player, Si Muhammad Abdul. And you are going to witness in action my taqsim mastery framework in action, in which I break down the 7 stages of taqsim. So before I walk somebody through the taqsim map, through the 7 stages, we usually talk briefly about the maqam tree. Now, the taqsim of today is on maqam bayati, which is why here we have the maqam bayati tree. Now, I have built this in detail and I have outlined the function of each part of the tree in a separate video, so I'm going to link to it below. Now, just let's quickly sing the building blocks of the maqam tree, just so we can tune our ears once we start to analyze the taqsim. So, bayati root is the most important. This is the heart of the maqam. And then you have the below the root rast. And then you have either the nahawand or the rast in the branch. Okay, so as I said, you are going to witness in action how Si Muhammad Abdul Saleh's taqsim is following in detail my taqsim map. And this is the very same map that I teach my students and help them to, whether they're dancers, whether they are Arabic music enthusiasts who want to master the art of taqsim. This is the map that I teach them in order to crack the taqsim code. So we start with the root and below the root in the opening section. This is kind of the handshake, the hello, I am Bayati. Then we go into our first anchor, which is the ghammaz. The ghammaz is the last note in Bayati. So if this is your Bayati, so this is da da di da da is your anchor. And then we go into the branch, we introduce the branch, and then we do something called a big qafla. A qafla is simply means ending. And a big qafla is a type of vocabulary that musicians use to that is within the range of the root and the branch. So I talk about two type of qafla. Small qafla, which is only within the boundaries of the root, and a big one, which is root and branch. Okay? So this is the part we would do the big qafla. And then we go into switching. This is the time to switch. And most of the time we switch from the branch. Yeah? Not from the root. Everybody thinks we switch from the root, but 99% of the time we switch from the branch. And this is the time for it. It doesn't happen before. It's not appropriate for it to happen before. Then we're gonna go to the root, but 1 octave higher, and this is the part in which we're gonna be big, dynamics, fast, and this is where the maqam kind of like reaches its zenith. And then we're gonna do something called fard al-maqam, which kind of like you're playing every note in the root and the branch in succession in a rhythmic pattern, and that quickly leads to stop the show. That quickly leads to the grand finale. So with that said, let's see how this applies to Si Muhammad Abdul's taqsim in action. Let's dive in. Of course, this is a rhythmic taqsim. Okay, let's listen. So this this is from below the root. This is the rust below the root. ending on our first melodic anchor, which is the tonic. The tonic is usually the first note in the root building block, and it acts as a melodic anchor. So this is your tonic. So we started by introducing the root via below the root. La di da. This is the rest below the root. So this is still, we are still basically hovering between the below the root and the root. Okay, so this is, we are in the root region now. Root here, bayati. So at this point, we are still in the opening section. And at this point, we are just dancing between the root and below the root. That's it. So now we are easing into the next stage. So, that's your ramaz. Okay? So remember, so if this is da da dee dam, then tam is ramaz, because ramaz is usually the last note in the building block. So now we are down into the second stage of the taqsim. You see, he's really emphasizing it because it's an important melodic anchor. So now we are in the branch, but we're not in any branch. We are in the nahawand. Okay? The nahawand is the one with ba da na na na, which is the one with the lowered third. So we're back in the root. We were dancing between the branch and the root. And of course, always you have one active branch at a time. So now the active branch is just nahawand. Okay, so now he's done a bit qafla. This. That's it. So the bit qafla is simply the notes of the nahawand and the bayati. So everything is following the plan so far. Okay, we are in nahawand. Here. So we're dancing between nahawand branch and bayati root. Back here. That was another bit qafla, by the way. Okay, we are following the plan, you know, so literally. And now it's time to switch. And as I said, 99% of the time we do not switch the whole maqam. We switch the branch. It's kind of like if you're the same person, but you've just changed your hat. So we are moving. So, so this is Hijaz in the branch. So even though we went into Hijaz, we go back. See, we never neglect our root. Every time we do something new, we need to go back. Every time we do anything, we have to go back, in fact. Hijaz, by the way. This is one of the Bayati maqam families. It's called Bayati Shuri. Okay, so this is a variation from the mother maqam. Hijaz and Bayati dance between these two. Down, he switched back to Nahawand in the branch, because hey, Arabic music is never static. There's switching all the time. Let's see what we're doing now. So far we're following the plan. Okay, now this is the time for the peak. So for the peak, I just want you to imagine something. If this is the structure of Bayati, take Nahawand, I want you to imagine copy pasting it one octave higher and copy pasting it one octave lower, because once we are in the peak, we just open the whole range of the maqam. Okay, so now we are in Bayati, but here. Yeah, and this is the point in which we are going to have fast dynamics. We are going to loud dynamics, fast movement. That was a baqafla. So that is the Bayati in the peak. We're saying hello Bayati peak. Oh, Bayati Jorwa. So this is exactly it. So it's a high Bayati. So he's moving faster. Looking at dance here. That was a baqafla, by the way. Constantly also moving between the Rast and the Nahawand branch. The Rast creating flashes of tarab, because Rast is a tarab engine. So the minute you go, and sorry, I'm not very fast with the levers because I'm holding this thing. So when you go, it means instantly it's like Allah, Allah, Allah. Here's the Hijaz again. That's Hijaz in the branch. Very fast iteration of Hijaz. That's the Hijaz again. So he's dancing between the Hijaz in the branch and Bayati in the root. Because he has activated the higher range of the maqam, that's it. The whole maqam is his playground, meaning this thing copy pasted one octave higher this whole maqam tree copy pasted 1 octave lower. And see, he's doing a lot of this kind of question answer because this activates the maqam. So he's doing low bayati, high bayati kind of question answer. Back in the one Aha, now this is stage 6. In Fard al-Maqam, we are gonna play every single note of the root and the branch. It can be like, so you ascend from the root to the branch, or you go from the branch to the root in a fast, accelerating kind of rhythmic fashion that is quite active, you know. And this is exactly what he's doing. Now he's doing it from Nahawand to Bayati, which is the indication that he's about to wrap up. So let's have a listen to Fard al-Maqam. So now he hit the region of the root. See, he's repeating the intervals in the root because he's about to wrap up. And also he's creating something called tashweeq, which is building excitement, because this is the most anticipated part in the whole taqsim, and everybody's like, he's gonna land, and this kind of like basically ruminating over these few notes before landing will mean that, you know, people will just go la la at the end. And we have returned to the point from which we have started. Isn't that amazing? And now see, again, this is exactly the step-by-step map that I showed you earlier. Let's just go through it very quickly. So again, you start with below the root to the root, you dance between the root and below the root. Of course, guys, this is very high level overview. Then we go into the ghammaz, which is the last note in the root, and it's our melodic anchor. Then we introduce the branch and we do a bit qafla. And then we go into hijaz in the branch. At this point, we can dance between the 3 branches: rast, nahawand, hijaz. Well, the hijaz is not part of the core structure of the maqam, but it's very common to switch to it. And then we go into the peak, which is the bayati root copy pasted 1 octave higher, creating larger dynamics, faster movement. You know, if you're recording this on a voice memo, you should see a big sound wave. And then we go into Fard al-Maqam, which is precisely playing every single note in the root and the branch in succession, and that is the indicator that you are about to end with a grand finale, which is nothing but a bit qafla. So I hope this video has shown you how a taqsim is structured, and of course this map is unique to this maqam because each maqam is unique and different. But I hope it inspired you to and empowered you to see that you too can crack the taqsim code.